Hey y'all, hey.
Hey y'all, hey, welcome to Soul Sisters.
Yes, it's Lady D.
It's Lady T.
And we're back again on this Good Friday, April the 4th, 2025.
2025. Yeah, so we're here to talk about people wanting the help they want and not the help they need. And now that I had time to think about it a little more, now I'm like, is the help they want? I don't know. Because am I giving them the help they need or I'm giving them the help I can?
Well, usually that's the help that you offer, you know? That's the way I look at it.
So are they getting it? Yeah, I guess I'm giving what I can give you.
Right.
Whether you feel like you need it or not, I'm going to give you what I feel like you need. So then, am I really helping them? See? Now I'm stuck.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, where we were talking earlier about how where I go and ask my mother to give me some money, you know, for some groceries. But I really wanted it for something else. And then she gives me the money for the grocery. Well, I guess that's a lie, though. You know, she gives me the money for the groceries. Mm-hmm. Or no, she take me to the grocery store.
And now you're irritated.
Or bring me the groceries versus giving me the money.
Right.
So, and that's just an example because people do that in real life.
You know, I used to be insulted by that. I would be so upset if I asked you for some grocery money and you went and got me some groceries. Why would you do that? You know why? Because I was probably lying.
Yeah, and
so why else would you be mad if somebody go buy you some food and you said you needed some?
Right, but these are the things that me and Lady T talk about because, you know, it's a lot of people that are stuck in that. Like, again, we're talking about it because we've been there.
Yeah, we've grown.
You know, and we've grown past that, and to know, to get the help that you really need versus the help that you want or the help that you think that you need, usually brings so much more value and so much more peace. You know?
Yeah.
Because, like, if you were really in a need for something, you know when people are just being assholes.
Yeah.
Or people is saying, you know, I've been on the outside and I've seen, you know?
Yeah.
And this right here is what, you know, I can offer. Either, you know, because usually, like I said, you usually only offer what you can.
Yeah.
And usually what you can is a help. And I don't know why that was just in my spirit for us to have a discussion about this. And I think, again, because of past people that I've seen and I've picked up and of having conversations, you know?
Yeah, and I know I've been in situations where I feel like if people didn't give me what I asked for, they weren't really helping me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if I ask you for money and you go give me groceries.
Right.
Because what? Why would you do that? But it's really still your money.
Right.
Like, you're doing me a favor. But, yeah, I can see that. But it's normally because you lied. Yeah. Sometimes, I don't know if people always know they need help. That's another thing. If you trust somebody enough that you'll eat their food, you'll sleep at their house, you'll let them drive you around in the car. Like, those are big things.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you trust their opinion? I call you friend because I value your opinion in my life. I trust your outside thought process.
Right.
That don't mean I agree with it. That don't mean I'm going to do everything you say. But it carries weight.
Right.
You know, you be like, hey, come on now. Don't do that.
Right.
Why? Like, that ain't cool. That's out of character for you. Oh, okay, so I'm out of character. So then, and that's where the help comes in. I get to decide how far I want to go with this help. All right? So do I take the help and be like, I'm out of character? What do you mean? Or do I be like, out of character? Me? You don't know me? This me. I've been this way since I've been this way.
Yeah, it's many forms of help. I swear it's many forms of help.
Yeah. And I think you just got to be in a place to get help. And that takes you back to growth.
Yeah.
And being accepting of help. I think if you're in a relationship with somebody, and that's any relationship, mother, daughter, father, son, best friend, cousin, auntie, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, there has to be some vulnerability and some trust. I have to be able to expose the softer side to you so that you can help me. Because why are we in relationship, friendship, whatever ship, if I'm not getting any help? We're not going anywhere. We're not progressing. why wouldn't I take what you see and what you've learned and what you've experienced that can make me better instead of being like, oh no, I'm good. That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
That's stinking thinking. Like when people say the R word, the retarded word, that's what that means. No progress. So when you are stagnant in your thoughts, that's legit.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you want to do different? Why wouldn't you want to be better?
Yeah.
I'm still squinting with these glasses on. I think I got them when my sugar was high. Anyway.
Yeah. I don't know. I just know that, again, we are living in a day and age where a lot of young people, it's getting harder and harder to help those young people.
Yeah.
Because they are not in receiving of things that they need versus what it is that they want.
I think some of it is that they've been disappointed so many times. The inconsistency of the help when we're talking about young people or what they perceive as being disappointed. Kind of like what we talked about when I talked about I don't like to be dropped.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think sometimes we don't take that into consideration as well when we want to help people. The people who drop them, but I'm not really into long-term help, if that makes sense. I know that sounds crazy.
No, because you shouldn't, again, you should not be the one that calls the 211 number every month.
Right.
That's enable. That's not help.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
Yeah.
That again, that I think that they get this, a lot of people, not just young people, just people, get things mixed up with what help is and what enabling is, which again is a thing of that I am giving you trying to give you help that you need, but you want the help that you want, which the help that you want is not even help, is to enable you to do better.
So that you can't.
Because in our days, where we talked about it, nobody was coming like that. The way us mothers show up for our children and the ones after us, and especially them,
Yeah, absolutely. And here's the thing. I keep seeing on TikTok, they talk about the Generation X, I think that's us, and how we're living our own lives. What they don't talk about is the times that we are assisting with raising our grandchildren, the times that we are still actively in our children's life. I don't know.
Because this parenting grown kids, this mess ain't stopped.
I don't know that when I was 30-something that my mother was as active in my life as I am in my children's.
That's what I'm saying. Where they are not understanding.
Like, we are the village. That be the change you want to see. We are that generation. Like, I didn't like this, so I'm not going to do this to my kids. Or I'm going to do my very best. And we also are the generation of application. Oh, I like that. High five me. Because, or maybe that's just you and I. Maybe I shouldn't say the generation of application. We apply what we learn. We're like, oh, that didn't work. Don't do that again.
Yeah.
Like, it's not do that. It's like, oh no. Especially at the half a century mark. You're like, yeah, I learned that. I'm cool.
And that's why I say it's hard. It's getting harder and harder to say anything to the younger generation. And I understand that the younger generation feels a little disrespected by the older generations, because they feel like, back in the day it was, you ought to be seen and not heard, right. And talked at a little, and these kids, and I'm not necessarily talking about like from your parents, where our aunties and, people along the way were able to say, hey, you are out of line. Yeah. Get back in line. Mm-hmm. These younger, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's not.
But then it goes back to relationship as well. You know what I'm saying? So, they don't have relationship. I was actually talking to someone today, and they were expressing to me that they were, having a conversation with somebody, and the parent was saying, they never talked to their child. They just never talked to them.
Yeah.
Because their mother never talked to them.
Yeah.
So instead of stopping the stupid cycle,
yeah,
you knew how it felt not to be talked to. You knew what that created. And instead of you stopping it with you and creating something new, you went ahead and perpetuated the cycle. So now you have another generation who are producing children who they don't speak to. And again, why didn't you get the help you needed? Because you needed help. Because who sits in a house and is ignored by their parents?
Yeah, well,
and I don't want to say ignore.
And I was going to say,
not engaged.
Us, we go so far in, because is that really they didn't speak to you at all? I mean,
They're
did they
Virgo.
Well, because
the Virgo wasn't spoken to.
Well, my mother didn't do, we just kind of, but I didn't understand that that's kind of what that was until way longer. And I think I didn't realize what it was, or, be like, this was a problem, because I had siblings. So I wasn't alone, that kind of stuff. I had friends that I'm still friends with now, you know what I'm saying? So it definitely depends on your situation.
Yeah.
And your environment. Like, people need to be careful. That's another thing that we need to talk about. I think we've talked a little bit about environment and how your environment changes things. We definitely talked about it in the addiction.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we have
to
be careful. And this is not, again, to put anybody down. We talking about it because we've lived some of this. You know what I'm saying? And it's time to recognize, because, again, if we're half of 100,
right,
and this message could reach a 20, 30, 40, even 40, we get it too late. And some of us, again, this internet thing irritates me a little bit, because the very people that we're not talking about will be the people that, so again, big ups to you if this is not you. If you've not had to go this way, and you didn't.
Share this with your friend who can't hear you.
Right.
Because that's what it's about.
That's the only reason why we're on here.
That's what it's about.
You know what I'm saying? Don't look down on nobody. Again, each one teach one.
Yeah, and the reality is this. We have adult children. And this ain't no different conversation than what we have with them. So we're not out here trying to teach other people's kids something we're not instilling in our own. I just feel like I've ran across a lot of people who didn't have that.
Yeah.
We didn't have it.
Yes.
So, and no slight to our parents. They didn't have it to give.
Absolutely.
So at this generation, and that's part of my issue with the next generation, what you get from, you multiply that. You don't take it and hoard it and tuck away. What you learn, you get it, you multiply, you make it better, and then you give it to somebody else. That's the reason why there's no growth and people are stagnant, because you learn something. Either A, you don't apply it, or B, you apply it and keep it for yourself, or C, you don't do anything with it, and so it goes to waste. Which, that gets me into a whole nother conversation. But
and again, it goes back to you giving, where people are giving what these people want instead of what it is that they need. Yeah. If you don't have a job and you keep calling me, and again, this is against nobody. I'm just trying to make a point. And I'm one of those right to the point. So if you live in public housing and you know that your utilities is more than what your utility check gonna be, you can't call me every month and ask me, can I help you pay your bill? Because my help for you is to say I can give you a ride to fill out an application, go to the, I'm one of those ones that you see on TikTok where they walk around and say, hey, do you want this $100 or do you want this MacBook right here where you can sit at home, apply for jobs and because you out here and you homeless. You understand what I'm saying? And people will definitely take this $100
because they don't want to work.
Where this MacBook gonna bring you profit. This $100 you gonna be looking for this in a minute.
Yeah, because you about to spend it. But that goes back to priorities and growth. Wanting to be different, wanting to learn more. It's a mindset thing, and it's a process. You have to. If you never have a job, you don't know the benefits of a paycheck.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Once you learn the benefit of paycheck, you're like, oh, cool. Then you get overtime. You're like, oh, sucky now.
Right.
I don't learn the benefit of overtime. Don't let you take that overtime money and pay all your bills and have something left over. Oh, you got a new addiction. Overtime. You know what I'm saying? The first time you're able to pay all your bills and have money left over, it's an amazing feeling. When I used to work at this little group home, I remember this guy used to tell me before I would get my nails done, I would get them sparingly done. And I remember he was like, don't cheat yourself. He was like, you pay your rent, you pay your tithes. He went down a list of things. He was like, what do you pay yourself? I was like, oh, I don't pay me. He was like, don't you work for you? And I was like, oh. So that kind of stuck with me to be like, there should always be something out of what
rewarding.
I work for. Yeah, for me.
Right.
I worked for that.
Just for you.
Yeah. And so, yeah. But that was the help that I needed. And I took that help and I applied it and I passed it on. Take care of yourself. Self-help is so important.
Yes, self-love is... Because if you don't love you, other people can see that.
Yeah.
And people are only going to love you how much you love yourself. You are a reflection...
of how you treat yourself and how you feel on the inside.
And people can see that.
And here's the thing. You teach people how to treat you. And a lot of times people take that to be like, oh, it's what you allow. It's also how you treat yourself. If you show up raggedy and funky,
they don't treat you that way.
That's gonna be my response to you. If you show up emotionally unattacked, you know what I'm saying, emotionally unavailable or emotionally all over the place, I'm gonna assume something is wrong with you. So you have to be real cautious of how you step out. You should be gathered in mind, body, and spirit before you step outside, because the enemy plays on that.
Yeah.
That's a story for another time. But get the help that you need, not the help that you want. So if the help that you need means to go check yourself in, go check yourself in.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you can play all the games you want to. You know better than anybody what kind of help you need. Oh, I don't know. You're lying. You do
And
know.
nobody cares about... Listen, the more you step into self-care and start caring about you, you ain't going to care about what nobody else say. Who cares about people judging? I try to tell people, I don't give a shit.
Judging what?
About what somebody got to say about me. We all in this same struggle of life.
We all in the
And
Sims game. We all in the same Sims game.
We all in the Matrix.
Together.
We all here.
So I just...
And mine's is genuine. Hey, listen here. We all are a work in progress.
As we should
Me
be.
and Lady T can sit here and say things because we talk about things that we have experienced, things that we know about. You know what I'm saying? And hoping that it'll reach the algorithm of somebody that needs to hear that, you know, it ain't no such thing as giving up. You got to work smarter and not harder. You got to do things better. You got to open your mind up and get out of the box, because the people that stay in the box, I don't know, it makes it hard. And it's an easier way. It's an easier way of life. Trump out here doing the Trump things. I mean, his name say a lot. So he out here trumping on people. Stay out his damn way. You know what I'm saying? And I know I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Section 8, housing authority, none of that. Yeah. But you don't be a 45-year-old woman still on... You know what I'm saying? Especially if you are living in housing authority and you paying $1,000 $1,200 for rent. That's ridiculous.
That. The whole point of housing and any government assistance is to help you build. It's to help you get on your feet.
Yeah, make the mistakes until you grow and you got.
Take advantage of the programs. Here's what I would say: if you're on low income housing, get a job. If you can't get a job, go to school. A lot of people don't want to send their kids to daycare. The state will pay somebody to keep your kids. Do not use that as an excuse. Because as a 50-something-year-old woman who had 3 kids by the time she was 20, probably the best thing I could have done was go to college. But I didn't want to because that wasn't my thing. But I did go to work. I would suggest you go to work.
Go to work.
Go to work. Build some equity. Get some... Here's the thing. If you can't afford to buy... If you can only afford to buy pads at the end... and when you get your check, or you can only buy McDonald's once in a month... I never wanted to be so... When we were in the 90s, so long ago... Gosh, 30 years ago... the checks used to come in the mail. So people would be standing at the mailbox on the first of the month.
Waiting
on their check.
And their food stamps.
Oh, my Lord. You talking about some craziness. I mean, mad at the mailman if he was late. It was crazy. I made up in my mind, I don't want to be a mailbox chick.
Right.
What?
Once a month, standing at the mailbox. The mailman is sick of this mess. He might be the reason why it changed.
Probably. I mean, I remember
it too.
I remember people like, I'm going to give me some Taco Bell. You only get Taco Bell once a month?
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah, it was very sad. I was a once a month Taco Bell chick. Oh, that was not for me. That was not for me. So what we will say is, I understand the help that you want. You need cigarettes, so you want somebody to buy you cigarettes. You smoke weed, you want somebody to buy you weed. You need to understand that nobody is responsible for what you want. When people say, I'll help you, that is predicated on the help they want to provide. So either you want their help,
which you clearly need help.
Whatever that help may be, you should take that help. Because at some point, what I'm learning at this half a century plus is, those people aren't going to always be there.
No.
So take the help. Take the advice. Learn the lesson. Apply it.
And usually God, whoever your God is, the universe, whatever,
whoever you
brings people around that for what you need, because the Bible said that he'll supply all your needs.
That's what he said. And if you believe the Bible,
then you know your needs are supplied. And when somebody come and say, "Hey, I don't have $500 you can get, but this is what I do have that I could give you," you know, you should be grateful. And you will be surprised how many people are not. Again, I told you I would be upset with my mother when she would bring the groceries or take me to the grocery store. Because, however, I did need the groceries, but I was not going to spend all of it on the groceries.
Right, you had a plan.
I had a plan, and that plan, I was going to take some of it, and the rest I was going to do what I wanted to do. And I'm happy that she knew that. Because, again, I needed the groceries.
Yeah. Because then you'd have been hungry again.
Right.
Now we got to figure it out again. And now I got to explain to you why I ain't got no food after you just gave me money. But she knew.
And that kind of stuff, again, I seen that. I felt that, and I would go back to that. And that's why now to this day, I cannot stand. That's why I work the way I work, and I do what I do, because I don't want to have to, and I get it, especially now. Shit is hard. People ain't got it. Eggs cost $10.
Don't buy them dang on eggs.
Stop buying them eggs.
If you don't buy the eggs, they can't sell them for $10. They only sell them for $10 because you buying the eggs.
Yeah, stop it.
Stop it. They'll go on sale. Watch and see what I tell you.
See, the help that we need, we need this help.
But we don't want to talk about that kind of stuff. Yeah, we don't want to talk about that. We want to, all the eggs are high, all the chickens, No, this is a control thing. The same eggs was 99 cents 20 years ago. It's the same eggs. They eating the same grass, the same corn. Oh, inflation. Come on now. Come on. Seriously? They killed that many chickens, but Church's Chicken ain't ran out of chicken. They still selling chicken. Kentucky, that's GMO. They still making chicken. Popeyes is making chicken.
Jay's Chicken making chicken.
The chickens is making chicken, so I don't understand how it's an egg shortage.
Hell, Taco Bell got chicken.
How is it an egg shortage but not a chicken shortage? Don't the eggs come from the chickens? Or do they no longer come from chickens? Make it make sense. That's just like when it was a chicken wing shortage, but it wasn't a chicken thigh shortage. But didn't the chicken have thighs?
Yeah.
I mean, wings? Yeah, okay. Sorry about the tangent. Get the help you need, not the help you want.
And we would like to hear your opinions and your thoughts. Because, again, we don't know everything.
Nope, we want to learn.
Because you ain't never too old to learn. If somebody say you are, tell them that Lady D said they a damn lie.
Yep, Lady D.
A damn lie. Okay?
A lie and a half.
Yeah, because I learned a lot throughout the day.
I try to use every moment as a teachable moment.
Yeah.
At this age, everything I can learn from, I'm going to learn all I can. And can all I learn? Because I don't know. You just don't know.
You don't know.
You don't know.
So please, again, if you are in some kind of help,
You need
in
help.
your area, call whatever your thing is. I believe here in Kansas City is 311.
Oh, yeah. What are we calling for help?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. 311 in KCK and 211 in KCMO. Yeah. But you can always call wherever you are. You can call your local United Way and ask for assistance. By all means, get the help you need. We're not just talking about financial help. We're talking about mental health.
Right.
We're talking about emotional help. Because if you're not emotionally whole, it's really difficult to be emotionally whole and be homeless. It's difficult to be emotionally whole and be hungry. So get the help that you need. If you're having help, you can't budget your money, you may need to look and getting you a payee. That sounds horrible, but however, you won't be homeless and you won't be hungry.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be forever, Okay.
Just until you grow. Because life is about growth.
It is.
You have to stand in it and push through it in order to grow. Learn lessons, trust the progress, sit, evaluate, self-check. Ain't nobody else got to check you. Check yourself,
who
boo.
gonna check me, boo? Me.
Right.
I'm gonna check me, boo.
And so over here in Lady D's mind, it's like get the help that you need. I love my family and my friends, but in my mind, some of my friends have been better help than some of my family. It doesn't take away from anybody. My thing is that in my mind, love makes you family and blood makes you kin. And that's just it for me. Okay? So again, get the help that you need.
Not the help you want.
And the help that you need is not always financial.
No.
Please check on your mental, your physical, and all that.
Your spiritual.
Right, and definitely your spiritual.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whatever God it is that you pray to, that you believe in, that you got faith in. I know the God that I believe in said, if all I got is a faith of a mustard seed, I'm good.
Yeah.
So guess what? I don't stress too much because I always have at least faith of a mustard seed. So I know I'm good. And I know that my God don't play about me. And I know your God don't play about you. Because I ain't here to bash nobody. But again, this is Lady D.
Lady T.
And we are the Soul Sisters. And we will talk to you again. Peace out.
Peace out.
Peace.